Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening to the show and tuning in today. Just want to jump on here and say we still have some tickets available for the Thomas House overnight investigation, a night at the Thomas House, with myself, PBF Investigations, and Medics for Paranormal. And we have special guests, Bob Hicks and Brittany Clark, who are the host of Tales from the Dark podcast and two of the stars of the Phantom Farm hit documentary on Amazon Prime. So you don't want to miss out. Special investigation. It is May 12th and 13th. You can pick which night you want to come hang out with us, either Friday or Saturday. Tickets are $100 each. That includes dinner. You get your own room for the night. You get the ghost hunt all night. As long as you want to hunt with us, you can go to bed whenever you want. And you get breakfast the next morning. So it's a great deal. And it's a rarity that you get to spend the night in a beautiful haunted location such as the Thomas House. And we always have a lot of fun. So you don't want to miss out. So go grab those tickets. You can find the links on the Unseen Paranormal Podcast Facebook page, or if you search the events on Facebook, search A Night at the Thomas House, and you'll find our event page, which has the links as well and more information. So all proceeds from this ghost hunt go to our Tennessee Haunts and Legends Expo that's coming up in October. And so come on out and see us and hang out. We'd love to have you. Enjoy this episode with Mr. Brady Goble from Chasing Paranormal. We'll see you next time. Y'all have a good day. Join us as we dive into the history, hauntings, and high strange of the world to try to better understand the paranormal. I will be your guide. I am paranormal researcher and investigator Eric Freeman-Sims. Welcome to the Unseen Paranormal Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Unseen Paranormal Podcast. Today we're chatting with paranormal investigator and co-creator of the docuseries Chasing Paranormal, Brady Goble. Chasing Paranormal follows husband and wife team Brady and Lexi Goble as they investigate reports of hauntings and high strangeness at locations never before investigated on film. So far in the series, they have captured disembodied voices, phantom footsteps, and even a full-body apparition. Chasing Paranormal is available on YouTube, and you can connect with Brady and Lexi on Chasing Paranormal's Facebook or Instagram page. Hey Brady, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, how's it going? How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. I wish your wife could have joined us, but she's a little under the weather.
Yeah, she can barely even talk, dealing with the Minnesota allergies.
Yeah. I understand, man. The allergies are bad here in Tennessee.
Oh, well, we had no snow about a week ago, and now we have about 6 inches again. Now it's melting off to nothing again, but had a storm the other day. It's like, never ending.
Yeah, that flip-flop back and forth of temperatures and stuff, yeah.
Oh, it's miserable.
So how did you and Lexi get into paranormal and creating the series Chasing Paranormal?
Well, Lexi and I have been together going on, we met 15 years ago in November. So I was, 15 at the time, she was 17. And we met through music, and we always had a love for the paranormal and whatnot, and we'd always go to cemeteries and travel around locally and just do the look at historic buildings and all that kind of stuff. And after music, we're going to start up a podcast generally, called Chasing Paranormal. And we ended up just investing in cameras and ended up making the docuseries what it is today. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome to jump right in and
yeah, because we were always kind of in the the entertainment thing with the music and everything and promoting and doing that kind of aspect. So I just recently learned video editing when we got into that. She's always done photography and whatnot.
Yeah.
But and I just wanted to kind of bring out her photography. I always thought her pictures just take awesome pictures.
Yeah.
And I just think if we brought that to video and and bring people with us to where we go, these historic locations that we're always digging for that people don't really hear about, it'd be awesome. And it's really worked out. So.
Yeah, that's what I love about what y'all do is that you're going to places that nobody's ever heard about and that haven't really been investigated.
Yeah, no, and that was kind of the thing because we're in rural Minnesota. It's really there's not a lot. We live in a town of like 250 people.
Yeah.
So we're like 3 hours away from Minneapolis. So the Palmer House is a couple hours away from us, and we've yet to been there. But we found Big Winnie, which is not far away from our hometown, and that was kind of the start of everything. So after we heard about their claims at their whole location, so
yeah, and that's I really enjoyed that video the interaction with the owners and kind of getting some of that history from the owners and the interaction between I guess he was the son of the people that owned it before and kind of took on the business.
Yep, that's their grandson. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's 5 generations deep of it. I mean,
wow.
The place was built back in, I think it was built in 1932. Yeah, and he's the 5th generational owner. It's just wild.
Yeah, and there's a lot more history there too as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was a former, in the 40s, it was a German prisoner of war camp, and it was the lumber pretty much. And it was out in the woods, so we got to go walk through the foundations there.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of it left. I mean, there's a lot of undiscovered places back there. It goes deep into the woods, but a lot of it's covered.
Yeah.
But we got to go through what was visible. So, I mean, yeah, it was a really cool experience for sure.
Yeah, and the place has some interesting architecture too to be where it's at.
Yeah, yep. Frank Lloyd Wright, he was the one that was rumored to make the building. There's said to be like sketches on it. That's what we were told, and they said that they were lost in time. So, I mean, there's no validity on that, but the owner's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
That's what they've been saying through their family and everything. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of pagoda style, but with a little like Spanish influence.
Oh yeah, the pagoda gas pumps are still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome.
So the place now is a resort.
Yep. They built it into a resort. When Matthew and Arnold bought the place, it was pretty run down from what they were telling us, and they renovated it entirely to what it is, back to what they could bring it to from its old look.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So, and they did a pretty incredible job with it.
Yeah. So did y'all reach out to them to investigate, or they brought y'all in?
Yeah, absolutely. It was not many people. I mean, there was one group there 10 years prior to us, 5 to 10 years prior to us. And we kind of just were reading on what they did and reached out to Matthew and Arnold. And it took a while to get in there for them to consider it. And we got the opportunity. And that's when we were really learning our craft with the camera. So it's really raw and everything. But it's real footage showing everybody what really went on there. And we caught some pretty credible stuff with the SB7 there as well.
Well, I think there's something to be said about it being raw. And that's one of the things I like about y'all series too, is that you're kind of learning as you go, which I think is great, because I think that's the best way to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. And I went in as a skeptic, man. I mean, honestly, Lexi's always been the one that's really been trying to tell me like everything's real. You know, I believed in ghosts, but now I'm more open to kind of everything, the cryptids and all that. But yeah, I don't know. It's going in, you know, I look back at it now and it's like, oh, it's so raw. But people like that, you know, because it's bringing you kind of like a front row seat to the whole experience. So
yeah, well, if you look at, I mean, some of the TV shows that are on, they rely on like melodramatic bullshit, you know, and reenactments and things like that.
And it's just overproduced sometimes.
Yeah. And also I like docuseries like y'all's also because you just put it out there. This is what we caught. We're not going to tell you what to believe and what not to.
Oh, absolutely.
This is what happened.
Yeah, no, and we're going from claims of other people. You know, like at the Franklin County Jail that we just went to, the employees are claiming these paranormal happenings.
Right.
You know? So that's why we went out to the location. We always had it. Lexi's from that town.
Yeah.
But we kind of like looked around. She's always been kind of just wanting to be like, oh, there's something there, you know? And when we got the opportunity to go there, the employees were claiming to us that they're seeing people looking at them, all this kind of stuff, even like an animal apparition.
Yeah.
Is at the place. So, I mean, it really is. It's people coming forward telling us their claims, you know?
Yeah. One of my mottos in the paranormal, because I've been an investigator for over 20 years, and one of the things one of the things I've realized is that you don't go in to investigate a haunting. We go in to investigate stories of a haunting.
Yeah, because there has to be validity to it.
Yeah, because until you experience it yourself or catch evidence yourself, it's kind of hard to prove, especially when nobody else has been in there to really investigate and capture evidence.
Yep.
It's just stories that's been handed down a lot of the times. You may get some firsthand accounts, but you really can't. To me, I go in, you know, trying to prove things more to myself than anybody else. And so.
Oh, absolutely.
I like to go in and have those personal experiences and things like that to prove to me that, oh yeah, there is something here, whether it be residual or, you know, intelligent. And yeah, but I love the raw nature of it. And it's cool to see the evolution also between y'all's first film and the second one.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of grinding on editing.
Yeah.
It's really, I mean, you learn the craft of it your own way, you know?
Yeah. And you kind of get, with video editing and sound editing things, you kind of get your own style.
Yeah. And after you film too, you know, like, cause we're trying to get the best experience with the clearest audio, like the first time we recorded with mics from the cameras, and the next time we use our Zoom recorder because that kind of captured more.
Right.
So it's like trying to get more. And some places are iffy to record. Yeah, it's really iffy, man. You have to adjust a lot of audio, and
yeah,
it's great. It's crazy. Reverb always echoes and all that kind of stuff, depending where the acoustics are.
Yeah, I was going to go in high school. I took TV production for 4 years. So originally I was going to be a cameraman, and
oh really?
Yeah, and life has a way of changing that. I ended up 20 years in the medical field. So in high school for 4 years, I studied TV production and learned how to video edit and audio and all that stuff. And then also I apprenticed to be an audio engineer to do live music. And I did that for 4 years with a guy named Big Steve, and he was actually the sound guy for Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue and all them back in the day. Yeah. So originally that's what I was going to do.
You learned from someone good.
Yeah. I mean, he was definitely the real deal. But so originally I was going to go into production and things like that. And like I said, life has a way of kind of steering you otherwise. But no, I applaud people like you who just jump in head first because, you can watch YouTube videos and all that shit. But until you do it yourself and realize, oh, this is what they're talking about, this is how to fix it, especially when you have issues and you figure out how to fix things like with audio and video.
Oh, man. That's happened a lot.
Yeah, that's what really kind of trains you. So let's get into the Big Winnie video and some of the evidence that y'all caught there. And like I said, people can go on your YouTube and watch part 1, chapter 1 and 2. Part 1, chapter 1 is the historic Big Winnie General Store. And so going into that, what were kind of the stories that they were telling you of some of the claims over the years?
There has been a bottle that was thrown off of the shelf there because they sell liquor behind the counter there.
Yeah.
And a bottle slid off and shattered on the ground there. They'd hear footsteps on the steps there. They'd see apparitions, not like full bodies, but shadows. Down in the basement there was always activity going on. They would hear, they'd smell Arnold's grandmother's perfume scent.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, it's just a bunch of different just little, the little things out there. You hear the footsteps, they'd hear whispers, but Arnold was one that didn't capture some of what happened around Matthew more than Arnold.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I mean, it was kind of your basic, the bottle off the counter, the scent, the footsteps.
Just kind of weird little things over
time.
Yeah,
just kind of weird stuff to where they finally allowed a team to go out there and investigate.
Yeah. So the activity, did it just center around the general store? Or does it kind of go across the grounds?
Oh, all over. It's all over the grounds. Yes, absolutely. At the end of that episode, that was when it was a surveillance footage from a camper there of that lady walking on it's all over the campground, definitely.
Yeah, that video clip is awesome. That's crazy.
Yeah, that just came from a Ring door. It was right after we filmed there, like a couple days or a week after.
Yeah.
We got this footage from Matthew, and he's like, look at what we caught first time. Well, they said they've caught different stuff, but this is like the most clear they've caught of.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. So, I mean, it was crazy that the activity really seemed to bring something there when we investigated it. I don't know.
Yeah. And also in the film, like things started happening on camera as soon as y'all left to go investigate the woods. You started capturing things on your static cameras. Yeah,
that anomaly that we captured coming out from the room.
And then the shadow on the stairs, that's pretty crazy catch.
Oh, the one on Big Winnie up the staircase there. Yeah, the one on the bottom lower. It looks kind of like a head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of like shuffles and goes back.
Yeah, it looks like something like popped out of the wall and was like, oh, I'm on camera, and then like left. Like I got caught.
Exactly. That's perfect way of explaining it.
Yeah. So yeah, the shadow on the stairs is pretty cool, and y'all caught some good EVPs and got some good stuff on the spirit box as well.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff calling out Arnold in that episode. We got the nickname Seed, and it said Grandma Bina, Grandpa Bina. Shouted out Butch. I mean, we got a lot of validity with our S7 for sure, and the EVPs as well. I mean, it was very compelling evidence that we found out there for the start of it all.
And so, how long did y'all spend there? Just one day? Or?
It was just a day, one full day. Yeah, we showed up early and got a tour of the grounds with Matthew, and then we investigated through the night portion of it all inside the general store.
Well, that's awesome to catch all that, in one day.
Oh yeah. That we usually do one day everywhere we've been. It's been one day.
Yeah, and that's what I try to teach people about most of the TV shows you see on TV. But they bring in giant crews, and I think you got 10 people there on a crew.
Yeah, it's just me and Lexi.
Yeah,
and we have tripods and work it ourselves.
Right, and I think just the two of y'all, I think you're more likely to capture some of this stuff because you're not 10 people deep.
Yeah, because we aren't.
Yeah.
as that contained with sound crews and everything around us. And absolutely.
So the second location y'all went to, how did y'all pick that house? It's the Boyd house, and it's called Bogey and Boyd.
We've been researching locations all across Minnesota, and this one caught our eye. And we went there in February of last year and filmed, because Fred and Minnie Eckhart, the story there was just it's kind of a darker story. I mean, because the two children died in the home. Minnie died at her funeral in the home. So, I mean, David choked to death, and we even got that SB7 answer there.
Wow.
It was just we were just kind of drawn to it. We talked to Jill Shelley, the owner there, and she allowed us to film there. Yeah. We didn't get to meet with her, though. We tried it, and we just weren't able to cross paths when we were there. So we kind of ran the whole episode by ourselves.
Yeah. And did y'all spend the whole night there by yourself?
Yeah. We slept out in the living area where they held the funeral, where a casket was held.
Yeah.
For a few days after, we're like, well, we're going to give it a shot.
And that was y'all caught a lot of stuff on the spirit box there as well. A lot of activity on the spirit box there.
Yeah, that seems to be like kind of our lucky piece of equipment when we use that. Well, I mean, we'll do like the EVP recorders. We have a REM pod EVP recorders, and we kind of get the most answers out of that so far.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not a big equipment person.
Yeah, I mean, we try to use as little as possible.
Yeah. One of the things I just absolutely hate is the SLS camera.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've never personally used one myself. I've only seen it on, TV from what I've seen, or YouTube or whatever. I've never really used one myself.
Yeah. That thing, I don't know. I've never seen anything that would tell me that's mapping out any kind of spirits or anything. You're not missing anything, I don't think. It'll tell you a lamp is a person, so it'll.
Oh yeah, because it'll show the little white stick thing.
Yeah, it'll put arms and legs on a lamp, and tell you that it's supposed to be a ghost.
Yeah, because that's a Kinect camera, right?
Yeah, the Xbox Kinect camera. And I always tell my investigative partner Lee, because it's the SLS camera that we use is his, and when we do public events all the time, and so I think it's fine because to let the general public see how it works and let them make up their own mind about it. But whenever he asks, he wants the SLS, I'm like, no, I'm not carrying that brick around all night because it weighs about 20 pounds with the batteries and all that.
Oh, yeah, because you have to have a whole rig for it.
Yeah, all them batteries and the tablet and all that stuff. So, yeah, not one of my favorite pieces of equipment, but yeah.
I'd have no luck because batteries drain on us all the time everywhere we've been. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens all the time.
Yep, they have to drain the batteries right up.
Yeah, and that's what people don't understand too, is that's probably the biggest expense in investigating is replacing batteries and recorders and things like that, and then having to charge batteries and make sure batteries are charged and have enough batteries.
Oh man, yeah, we go through. I mean, we have over a dozen batteries on us all the time because we're not running with big adapters or anything just yet. But yeah, we're constantly swapping batteries because when you're running IR, you're pumping batteries like crazy. And then if you're getting activity in there, then it's draining your batteries from that because they can use that as a way to drain the batteries from their energy. So, and everywhere we go, like I was saying, the SLS, we wouldn't have luck with that because. Yeah,
and I think that I think one of the best tools you have is your own body too. How it responds.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, there's a part in the new episode coming up where I said it feels cold in the area, and right when I say it, our temperature meter on our SB7 goes up right when I say it. So it's like, yeah, I could sense it myself. I was like, there's a change here for sure.
Yeah, and it's awesome to have that correlation when you feel it yourself and then you have a piece of equipment back it up.
Oh, yeah, because definitely, yeah, no, and I got it right. I mean, a millisecond after I said something in the upcoming one that we're dropping very soon, that just beep, 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 just going off. And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Because I could just feel a change, in the atmosphere. It just, I don't know. It's hard to explain unless you feel it,
Yeah. Have y'all ever tried doing the SS method with the spirit box? You were familiar with that?
What's the SS method with that?
It's when you do the headphones and the blindfold and.
Oh yeah. Coming up in the episode that we do, Lexi does it.
Yeah, we've had so much luck with that and getting answers.
Yeah, it's like a live EVP.
Yeah.
I mean, you really amplify it.
Yeah, and it's the fact that the person can't hear or see what you're asking, and then to get them to say the answer, when they come through, the spirits come through in the spirit box, it's insane.
Oh yeah, it's just amazing. It truly is.
Yeah, because it's not that many coincidences, especially when you have an SS session where you get multiple answers, direct answers to your questions.
No, and I mean, especially me with SB7, I strongly believe they're accurate because it's really hard to go over multiple sweeps of radio stations per per millisecond and get that clear of a response. Everybody's like, oh, they're fake. And it's like, well, coming from the music side, I understand, and I'm with the wave signals and audio and stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's really hard to get a clear, like how we got grandma being, all this stuff. And we run in reverse mainly. We're not running in that forward sweep, and you're getting these crystal clear words out of that.
Yeah. And also, how are you going to get, like specific names like that? How's that going to be on a radio station?
Oh, there's no way. And I mean, especially if you're going to get that clear of a name over a sweep of, from 0.19 to 0.49.
Yeah, we typically run either 250 milliseconds or 300 milliseconds on those, and that's changing a station every 250 to 300 milliseconds, and Yeah,
it's constant. And it's just there's no way that you could tell me that with the responses we got, and when we were at the Boyd House and we got the word David and how did you pass away, and I said accident. Well, he did. And we got it right there. That's validity.
And so you have chapter 3 coming up called Locked Up. So you're going to this jail.
Yes, we found Lexi is from the Hampton, Iowa area. Found the Franklin County Historic Jail. I mean, she's always been around it, but we reached out because, like I said earlier, the employees, they have like an Airbnb site for it. And they claim that there's paranormal activity going on there. So we reached out and they allowed us to film there after like trying for, even before chasing paranormal, we were trying to, see if they'd allow us to even go into the place. And we got the opportunity, and we got an awesome. The guy that Thomas was the guy that gave us the tour of the building, and he gave us an awesome tour. I mean, very detailed. He did a great job with us through the filming, and then we actually got to spend the night in the old cell block there at the Franklin County Jail, which was operational from the 1800s to 1988. So. Yeah, we were the first crew to go in there and actually do the filming, and I think we're the first to do the investigating as well. So
yeah, that's always awesome, getting a place first.
Yeah, no, and it's not even like the idea of we got a place first. It's the idea of finding a location and you can kind of tell a story yourself because nobody else has been there to do an investigation. Because when you go to locations, people could open certain doors by doing different forms of investigating.
Right.
Like people don't know what they're doing because some people believe Ouija boards can open portals, do all that kind of stuff. And if you don't close it correctly, does something stay there?
Right.
That's kind of the thing. And it's kind of rewarding going to a place and seeing that there is activity there when nobody has really been in one place before you.
Yeah.
And the Boyd House. I mean, people did go to the Boyd House before us, but now it's more of a popular location across the state.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, the Franklin County Historic Jail, we were the first ones to go in there and do the filming.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jails are one of my favorite places to investigate.
Oh, man, I've always Alcatraz is my dream location. So
Yeah, that would be amazing. But they're one of my favorite locations because of the type of people that were in there. And I've never investigated a jail that there wasn't insane activity.
Really?
Yeah, it's always off the chain. Every jail I've ever investigated is just insane.
Yeah, and that was really our first one because, this is new to us going to these kind of locations because, like I said, we were doing more of the cemeteries with the historic buildings. So it's kind of capturing us going into these for our first times. And yeah, it was my first time at a jail, and it's kind of an eerie experience, especially at night.
And a lot of times with jails, the cool thing about jails is that you can have a lot of documentation.
Oh, yeah.
About who died there and things like that. So as far as diving into the research, you can do a lot of correlation between names and things that you got with actual people who may have died in the jail or were sentenced to death or whatever, or that were in the
absolutely.
jail. And we have one close that I've investigated quite a few times. And it's funny because you said the one y'all went to is the Franklin Historic Jail. The one I go to all the time is in Franklin, Kentucky.
Really? It's in Franklin, Kentucky.
Yeah, and it's the old stone jail, is what it is. And but that place is insane. I caught this green face apparition there. It looks like a real person, but the face is green. And the last time we were there, there were 5 of us up in the upstairs of the stone jail. And I felt like somebody reached inside my body and grabbed me by the spine. And
really?
Yeah, and I couldn't take a full breath. And I'm like, I need to go outside. And the
other, and that's probably very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was not fun. And the others stayed up there, and we had a geoport, which is basically just the spirit box with the noise taken out of it.
Yep. Yep.
And across the geoport, my cousin was there with me. And when I walked outside, they told me this later. When I walked outside, he asked, "Why are you messing with my cousin?" and they all heard it, a full sentence come across the jail port that said he started it first.
Oh man.
And I've been there multiple times. We don't provoke or anything. I think the guy just doesn't like guys. And this particular nasty spirit tends to grab women inappropriately and things. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That kind of.
Yeah, that kind of spirit. But they think that they've narrowed it down to a certain individual who was in the jail, who was a rapist and a child molester and just a general piece of shit.
And that's the one that they got there, of course, as a spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. And then come to find out, because we were separating into different groups, and my investigative partner, Lee, he had a similar experience when he was up there earlier in the night. And we didn't talk about it till the end of the night, but he kind of felt that same thing, like something was grabbing him from the inside where he couldn't breathe, couldn't take a full breath and stuff. So.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, thanks.
Yeah. Well, and the best thing to do is just remove yourself, from the area and go outside. And,
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Take a breather and get away for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Jails are interesting, and they have their own, especially if you're recording, they have their own issues with the echo and things like that because all the metal.
Yeah, like I said, in this one, I had to work with a lot of we kind of rushed releasing it and all that, not rush it, but there's a lot of reverb and stuff you have to work with because the ceilings are so tall, so when they're talking, it's echoey. And
yeah,
it was a challenge itself trying to just work through the whole interview process.
Yeah. So what, y'all? I know that you're fixing to release this next episode. So what do y'all have coming up for Chasing Paranormal? Anything locked down for the future?
Oh yeah, we just locked up another filming at a location that no one's heard of. So we have 2 filmings at brand new locations that just have awesome history to them, and we'll be sharing more on that in the future when we're going to be at the locations in the summer. But we will be going back to Big Winnie very soon as well.
Oh,
so
awesome.
We're going to be filming our Back to Big Winnie episode there with Medium. So.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
So we're going to step up and bring a medium with us for it. So that'll be coming up soon. So
yeah, add a different dimension to that investigation. For
sure. No, we're going to try and get some more answers. So that'll be our next step up for the episode, and that'll be our first season finale with doing 4 full episodes for our first kind of, evolving.
Yeah.
When we step up into our season 2, we're going to be bringing a lot more. So because, like you said, we've kind of learned as we went. So
yeah. Yeah, I saw a clip that you put up of one of your kids doing an EVP session at the jail. So what do your kids think about what you are doing?
Oh, they love it. Yeah, we don't let them around it much. That was when we went to that jail. We only lived a few miles away from there because we were in Iowa for just temporary reasons, and we went down there and we filmed at the jail. And he came beforehand before we did the filming and tour and everything. And that's when they caught that. He's like, "You go back in solitary and try an EVP session," and that's when we got that, and we actually turned off that camera, but we kept the audio recorder rolling.
Yeah.
So when we cut the camera, that's when we caught that hi hello.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's kind of eerie.
Yes, at some locations I find that kids will bring out more spirits for whatever reason. Depends on the location. Like a jail, I would because there's some nasty people in the jail.
Kind of shown right there.
Yeah. But yeah, some of the locations that I've been to where, there are supposed child spirits, when I've done events and things and kids have come in with their parents, we'll get EVPs of the kids responding to the living kids. And they'll talk to them before they'll talk to an adult. So it's pretty cool.
That is awesome. Yeah, no, we have a lot of big things coming ahead. I had my whole health issue and all that. So that was kind of why I stalled a lot, but we're doing good and we're really scout new locations, lock 3 down, and so we have 3 up and coming filmings for sure. So
yeah, that's awesome. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I really enjoy it, and like I said, I love to see in the evolution, of it getting better. But yeah, keep it simple like you got it, because I think it works great that way.
Yeah, no, and that's what it is, because we've had people tell us oh, it's shaky cams in some part. And it's the thing is, it's called a docu-series. We were going to call it a episodic series or whatever, but it's no, it's more of a documentary series. Because besides the Boyd House, where we couldn't meet with Jill Shelley, and Matthew, it opens up with him, and we're walking with him, and he's telling the story of what they have.
Yeah.
And with the Franklin County Historic Deal, same thing. We met with Tom Winter over there, the groundskeeper, and he tells you a story of what the place is, So, yeah, it's just a totally different experience than I feel like a lot of different paranormal theories that are going on. So,
Yeah, it's just real. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
bringing the viewer along with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously worked out because our whole goal was to teach people new history, not the idea of like the whole money aspect. And
Yeah.
it was, and we've reached over like 20,000 people with the Big Winnie episode up here.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
I mean, it's truly incredible. I mean, even though it was in January of 22 when we released it, 20,000 views. Sometimes you don't even get 100.
Right.
And
right.
yeah, we reached that over all of our social medias, and then the Boyd House we reached over about 4,000 total, and it's just it's been just crazy, and we've been kind of evolving everything, and hopefully the next one it'll a lot more people will be able to see this place in Iowa that the history needs to be told. It's a cool building, man. It really was.
Yeah.
It was a really cool place that people could stop and check out because besides even the paranormal aspect, the history there is just awesome. So
yeah, and like I said, keep doing what you're doing. I think you're doing an awesome job.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that a lot, man. And sometimes there might not be paranormal stuff, but that isn't going to stop us from releasing stuff because it's all about the history to us too. So there's always going to be new locations, and you can't always tell the ghosts to come out and play. Like they always say, that's what they say, right? There's times where we've had luck when we went to these locations. I can video edit. I can't video edit stuff in graphic wise. So what you're getting is real,
Yeah.
So that's the thing about it. Yeah. I mean, we've gotten judged. That's why we've been going independent because some people don't like the way we film and, but it's different. So,
right.
And we had a really good reception to our second episode though, big evolution.
People have to understand that, you're it's going to get better as far as quality because you're learning as you go. And
oh yeah, man. I mean, and it's just the two of us and we have to invest in locations, equipment. So, we're down the road. If we see money coming in, then we'll invest more into better cameras. But for now, we'll give you what you can get, and we got the equipment. We're going to keep doing it because this next one coming up, we got awesome evidence in a different way this time. So yeah, I mean, it's just that'll be dropping very soon. We're hoping the next week or so. I mean, that's the goal. So because before filming hits, I'd like to get that one dropped.
Yeah, and I think anything creative like filming or even like me doing the podcast here, I think when you do it because you enjoy it and you do it more for yourself, I think it comes out more authentic and people see that,
Oh yeah, no, 100%. And the upcoming filming that we'll have at Winnie is going to be a very special one though. I'm hoping that, we can get some answers there that for the two owners that, because they're wanting validity on, what's going on there. So.
Right. And sometimes it takes multiple times going to a location.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. For the spirits to warm up to you and to kind of, even understand what questions you need to be asking,
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. I agree.
All right, Brady. Well, I'll be looking forward to the next episode, and everybody go check out Chasing Paranormal on YouTube or on their Facebook page. And if you want to know more about them, I'm sure you can reach out to them on Facebook as well or on Instagram. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
All right, everybody. Stay safe out there. We'll see you next time. Have a good day. Thank you for listening to the Unseen Paranormal Podcast. Join us next week for an all-new, amazing guest. And in the meantime, please go on Spotify or Apple and give us a rate and a review. And go over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you would like to submit your story, you can email it to unseenparanormalpodcast@gmail.com. And you can remain anonymous if you like. Once again, thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. Stay safe out there.